What if the secret to building a nearly $2 trillion empire could fit on a single napkin? It's not a complex algorithm. It's not a patented piece of technology. It's not a secret financial formula. It's a simple drawing. A loop. This drawing, sketched by Jeff Bezos in 2001, is the single most important document in Amazon's history. It explains everything. From two-day shipping to cloud computing. From Kindle books to Hollywood studios. And once you understand how it works, you will never look at Amazon, or any other dominant business, the same way again. In the early 2000s, Amazon was still just an online bookstore. It was a survivor of the dot-com crash, but its future was far from certain. Wall Street was skeptical, and profits were elusive. Inside the company, executives were searching for a grand, unifying strategy. A North Star to guide their decisions. During one of these meetings, Jeff Bezos grabbed a napkin. He began to draw a circle. A virtuous cycle. He explained that this diagram would be their engine of growth. He didn't call it a strategy. He called it the flywheel. This simple sketch became the blueprint for modern Amazon. It's a concept so powerful that it propelled a struggling online retailer into one of the most formidable economic forces on the planet. So how does it work? How did one simple diagram, a feedback loop sketched on a napkin, become the engine that drives the entire Amazon empire? That's the question we're answering today. To understand the flywheel, you have to understand what a flywheel is in the physical world. It's a heavy wheel that takes a huge amount of effort to push. The first turn is the hardest. The second is slightly easier. The third, easier still. After many pushes, the flywheel develops its own momentum. It spins faster and faster, seemingly on its own, generating enormous energy. Bezos saw his business in the exact same way. Each part of the business would add energy to the rest, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of growth. The diagram he drew has several key components. Let's break down the three most important pushes that got Amazon's flywheel spinning. The starting point of the flywheel, the first big push, was an obsessive focus on the customer experience. And for Bezos, the most important element of that experience was price. From the very beginning, Amazon's mission was to be Earth's most customer-centric company. In the flywheel model, this wasn't just a slogan. It was a mechanical instruction. A better customer experience would be the initial push that turned the wheel. Amazon systematically worked to lower its prices below those of its brick-and-mortar competitors. They operated on razor-thin profit margins, reinvesting every dollar back into making the customer experience better. This meant offering lower prices, a wider selection, and faster, more reliable delivery. This was a radical departure from traditional retail, which focused on maximizing profit on each sale. Amazon chose to maximize growth instead. They were willing to lose money for years, taking a long-term view that baffled Wall Street. This relentless focus on low prices and convenience did exactly what the flywheel predicted. It started to attract customers. Millions of them. This increase in visitors was the second critical step. With more customers visiting the site, the flywheel began to turn. This is where the magic of the model starts to reveal itself. Increased traffic did not just mean more sales for Amazon. It created a powerful gravitational pull. Third-party sellers, from small businesses to major brands, saw the millions of customers on Amazon.com and wanted access to them. In 2000, Amazon launched Marketplace, allowing these third-party sellers to list their products on Amazon's website. This was a genius move. Suddenly, Amazon's selection exploded without Amazon having to invest its own capital in buying the inventory. If you wanted a rare book, a niche electronic part, or a specialty kitchen gadget, chances are a third-party seller on Amazon had it. This massively expanded the product catalog. And here, the flywheel completes its first full rotation and begins to accelerate. More sellers led to a wider selection. A wider selection, combined with the already low prices, created an even better customer experience. A better customer experience attracted even more traffic. More traffic attracted even more sellers. The cycle was now feeding itself. The wheel was spinning faster. As the flywheel spun, Amazon grew at an incredible rate. And with that growth came enormous scale. This scale was the final, crucial component that would make the flywheel unstoppable. With millions of orders, Amazon could build a network of highly efficient, automated fulfillment centers. The cost to store, pick, pack, and ship each item dropped dramatically. They could negotiate better terms with suppliers, from book publishers to shipping companies like UPS. Their fixed costs, like the software that runs the website or the salaries of their engineers, were spread across a much larger number of sales. This meant the cost per unit sold kept going down. And what did Amazon do with these cost savings? They didn't pocket them as profit. They passed them back to the customer. They lowered prices even further. This made the customer experience even better, which attracted more traffic, which attracted more sellers, which increased selection, which fueled more growth, which lowered the cost structure further, which allowed them to lower prices again. The wheel was now screaming forward, powered by its own momentum. And that is the secret. The Amazon flywheel isn't just a business model. It's a self-perpetuating, unstoppable growth machine. The brilliance is not in any single component, but in the way they are interconnected. Competitors could try to match Amazon on one piece of the flywheel. A rival like Walmart could try to lower prices. A company like eBay could attract third-party sellers. But no one could replicate the entire system. You can't have Amazon's low prices without its massive scale and low-cost structure. You can't get that scale without attracting immense customer traffic. And you can't get that traffic without offering the best prices and largest selection in the first place. Each part of the business doesn't just add to the others, it multiplies their effect. This is also how Amazon Web Services, or AWS, was born. To build their massive retail operation, Amazon had to become world-class at running huge, efficient, and scalable computing infrastructure. They realized their lower-cost structure in computing was a massive asset. So they started renting that infrastructure to other companies. Today, AWS is the most profitable part of Amazon's business, generating billions in cash that Amazon can use to, you guessed it, push the flywheel even harder. They invest in faster shipping, original content for Prime Video, and new hardware like Alexa, all designed to improve the customer experience and spin the wheel ever faster. The flywheel is an offensive weapon that plays defense. By constantly reinvesting in growth instead of taking profits, Amazon makes it economically irrational for any competitor to challenge them head-on. The cost of entry is simply too high. The wheel is already spinning too fast. The Amazon flywheel is more than just a successful strategy. It's a masterclass in long-term thinking. It teaches us that the most durable businesses are not just companies, they are systems. They are engines where each part reinforces the others. The core principle is to identify a virtuous cycle within your own business or industry. A loop where improving one area creates momentum that naturally improves another. It requires patience. It requires a relentless focus on the core driver of the cycle. For Amazon, that was the customer. And it requires the discipline to reinvest in making that cycle spin faster, rather than cashing out on short-term gains. The simple sketch on a napkin became a $2 trillion reality because it wasn't just a plan. It was a law of physics for the business. A law that states that once a heavy wheel is in motion, it is nearly impossible to stop. If you learn something new, hit the like button and subscribe for more strategy breakdowns. And let us know in the comments, what company's strategy should we unlock next?